A hero is not known by the number of battles he has won, but rather by the kind of battles he chooses to fight. Most people think happiness is about gaining something, but it's not. It's all about getting rid of the darkness you accumulate. The lesson we are indebted to Egypt for, our future generations learn that in the face of oppression, silence is never golden. Grace doesn't depend on suffering to exist, but where there is suffering, you will find grace in many facets and colors. What is considered impossible is someone else's opinion. What is possible is my decision. I finally figured out the only reason to be alive is to enjoy it. I may not always be with you, but when we're far apart, remember you will be with me right inside my heart. When I was born, the doctor slit my throat to see if I could talk. Sometimes we have to soak ourselves in the tears and fears of the past to water our future gardens. The good men of every age are those who go to the roots of the old thoughts and bear fruit with them. I had learned that when you want something really good for you, you must work hard for it, or you must pay for it. The wise man knows that it is better to sit on the banks of a remote mountain stream than to be emperor of the whole world. The more we value things, the less we value ourselves. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world. It's failure that gives you the proper perspective on success. If you can spend a perfectly useless afternoon in a perfectly useless manner, you have learned how to live. Sometimes the hardest lessons are the ones that change us the most. Most don't deserve your tears, and the ones that do will never make you cry. Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. Speak to me, O rocks and streams, tell me tales off mountain tall. O boulders cleft and thunder cleaved, beneath the veil off waterfalls. Those who wish to market their good deeds must do well to place their bad deeds on the shelf too. You are art. You are a masterpiece. Treat yourself as such. The best discoveries always happen to the people who weren't looking for them. Truth is as straight as an arrow, while a lie swivels like a snake. A man may die, nations may rise and fall, but an idea lives on. Ideas have endurance without death. Focus on making choices to lead your life that aligns with your core values in the most purposeful way possible. You fall because you are human, and rise because you are divine. From what we get, we can make a living. What we give, however, makes a life. If you can't change your fate, change your attitude. If we try to measure now, we find it's always gone, has become part of the past. The happiness of the drop is to die in the river. In the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit. Take advantage of it now, while you are young, and suffer all you can, because these things don't last your whole life. If you have joy in your heart, even the most mundane moments will become extraordinary. A celibate clergy is an especially good idea, because it tends to suppress any hereditary propensity toward fanaticism. Keep your dreams, you never know when you might need them. Oh, for the years I have not lived, but only dreamed of living. And the truth must finally lie in that which every oppressed individual feels within himself but hasn't the courage to express. To use your head, you have to go out of your mind. We are more severe judges of our own acts. We judge our thoughts, our intents, our secret curses, our secret hates, not only our acts. Just because people run after you doesn't mean they can't stay away from you. Don't take anyone for granted. You not wanting mu is the beginning of muting myself, thank you. Life equals running, and when we stop running, maybe that's how we'll know life is finally finished. There is no moment more precious than the exact moment you are living now. The man who writes about himself and his own time is the only man who writes about all people and all time. That's the problem with life. You never get enough time to stare at your ceiling and try to figure out what's going on. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Ignorance isn't always the problem. Sometimes it's also the solution. It depends on how you see it. Follow your heart, listen to your inner voice, stop caring about what others think. This isn't life in the fast lane, it's life in the oncoming traffic. In life, you need either inspiration or desperation. In the end, Lex should have stuck to his lies, for it was the truth he almost told that killed him. Reputation is what other people know about you. Honor is what you know about yourself. Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. The most important decision you make is to be in a good mood. The words kept coming back to him, statement of a mystical truth and a palpable absurdity. If you're making mistakes, it means you're out there doing something. A wise man always has something to say, whereas a fool always needs to say something. I'm sorry for my inability to let unimportant things go, for my inability to hold on to the important things. Sand lines my soul, which is filled with the breath of the ocean. There's only one day at a time here, then it's tonight, and then tomorrow will be the day again. Like all dreamers, I confuse disenchantment with truth. It's a lie to think you're not good enough. It's a lie to think you're not worth anything. When you compare the sorrows of real life to the pleasures of the imaginary one, you will never want to live again, only to dream forever. Keep going. Your hardest times often lead to the greatest moments of your life. Keep going. Tough situations build strong people in the end. I don't think that there are any limits to how excellent we could make life seem. Bertera Macassa Lapata se gala yang membri kahijapan. Mist to mist, drops to drops. For water thou art, and unto water shalt thou return. Every life is different because you passed this way and touched history. When life places stones in your path, be the water. A persistent drop of water will wear away even the hardest stone. It doesn't matter where your journey begins, so long as you begin it. Etri dans le vent, c'est avoir le destin de fuiles morts. For the first time in a long time, I want more than I have. Any serious social, political, and economic change must include veganism. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. You lose nothing when fighting for a cause. In my mind, the losers are those who don't have a cause they care about. Sometimes we don't get second chances, Owen. Sometimes things just end. Don't dwell on things. Don't stay in one place too long. It was the only way to stay ahead of sadness. Beauty as we feel it is something indescribable. What it is or what it means can never be said. Sometimes the hardest part isn't letting go, but rather learning to start over. If the highest aim of a captain were to preserve his ship, he would keep it in port forever. I'm not going to die. I'm going home like a shooting star. Don't waste your energy trying to change opinions. Do your thing and don't care if they like it. People soon get tired of things that aren't boring, but not of what is boring. Help others without any reason and give without the expectation of receiving anything in return. All sacrifice and suffering is redemptive. It is used to either teach the individual or to help others. Nothing is by chance. The meaning of earthly existence lies not, as we have grown used to thinking, in prospering, but in the development of the soul. Have faith, when you have nothing else of faith. You must do the things you think you cannot do. Not how the world is, but that it is the mystery. A religion which cannot benefit a person before death cannot benefit him after death either. All sins are forgiven once you start making a lot of money. There's so much to be grateful for. Words are poor things. The most confused you will ever get is when you try to convince your heart and spirit of something your mind knows is a lie. I had a dream about you last night. You were a giant slinky and I watched you fall down the stairs. Look beyond the words spoken. Actions speak louder than words and reveal the true motives behind any pretext. If you're not failing every now and again, it's a sign you're not doing anything very innovative. The single most powerful element of youth is that you don't have the life experiences to know what can't be done. Sometimes change was good. Sometimes it was even exactly what you needed. There is no doubt fiction makes a better job of the truth.